Good evening, everybody. You're going to have to forgive the video format. What I was needing to tell you would be quite a bit to type out. And even though I'm known for those long novel like posts, this would run a little bit long even for those. There's not going to be a whole bunch of fancy image changes. There's not going to be a whole bunch of points going here. I just basically put the logo of the Grovetown Political Forum right here. City pride. When Carla decided to form this forum, that was one of the main things driving her, was pride in the city. If you remember, we were at a low point, and we wanted to engage citizen involvement to create, a new sense of pride in our city after coming through everything that we'd come through. We've had some challenges and we've had some growing pains. There are personality conflicts. There always will be when you have human beings interacting, especially on the internet. The safety of being behind a keyboard often gives people the courage to say things or infer things that they wouldn't do when they were standing in front of somebody. The debate on whether or not that's a good or a bad thing is for another time. In my opinion, it has its ups and downs. Michael Maloney made a post tonight in which he addressed the fact that the dialogue on our page lately had taken a nastier turn. And the first thing that I'm going to say is I absolutely agree with him. It has. It's been taking a nastier turn for a while. We have had flare-ups and arguments before, and quite honestly, a lot of times I've been right in the middle of them. I'm emotional sometimes. I'm passionate about what I think. I don't like people telling me I'm wrong when I know I'm right. I don't like people telling me I'm wrong when I know I'm right, even when I'm wrong, to be honest with you. But, that's me. Other people are like that. But lately, it has taken a more personal tone. Well, there's a reason behind that. There's quite a few reasons, actually. And these are things that have been going on behind the scenes that we have kept out of the forum. This is an agreement between Carla and I, an ongoing agreement, because this has been an ongoing thing for some time now, that we would not bring these things into the forum. Because despite what some people might claim, we were trying our best to do what we promised you we would do when we started this page. We were trying to be unbiased. We were trying to be middle of the road. We were trying to be fair to everybody. However, there comes a point when you have to, what was it my grandfather used to say? Tell the truth and shame the devil. The truth is, what you have seen on this page barely scratches the surface of what's been going on behind the scenes. And a lot of it revolves around this special election. Marcia Keating and Alan Transo. Now, it's no secret that this is a very contentious election. Just like every other political decision we've had to make in this city, there's basically two camps. This one, however, has taken a particularly nasty turn. There's reasons for that. To start off with, I'm going to tell you something that may surprise you. Not many people know this. When it was decided that the two candidates would be Alan and Marcia, when that's all it was, at that point, I myself was not sure who I was going to support. Alan doesn't know that. When he hears this, he's probably going to sit back in his chair, because I supported him last time. I guess he figured I was a shoo-in. But at that, I didn't really know. I went into it with an open mind. I knew Marcia. I knew she'd been on the planning and zoning board. I knew she was intelligent. I felt she was capable. I knew that Alan was dedicated. He was intelligent. He was capable. I saw pluses from both of them. I had problems with some things from both of them. So I was going to keep an open mind. Especially since the fact remains that I supported Alan last time. I tried very hard to not do anything to show any kind of bias, to make sure I was being fair to both sides, to the extent to where I believe sometimes I may have held back and not said things that I should have said. Looking back now, I kind of regret that. Because there's a certain type of person that if you let them get away with something, they're going to go further. And they're going to go further. And they're going to go further. And the more you let them get away with, the further they're going to go. Now, I've been alluding to all of these things, and I'm not wanting this to drone on and on and on. So let's just get right into what's actually been going on here. Everything was fine on this page, and everybody was participating until Marsha Keating had a problem with her neighbor, Amy Bentley. My wife is friends with Amy Bentley. Y'all know that by now. It is Marsha's contention that this is politically motivated. Okay? I've not had much to say about this. Actually, I've had too little to say about this. But the fact of the matter is, this has been going on for over 2 years. Marsha did not want to engage on this forum when it finally came out, when Amy finally had enough of being bullied for over 2 years and decided to take her to court. She did not want to engage on this forum because it was mentioned on this forum, and she did not want to have to answer questions about that. If you doubt that, I will be happy to give you a screenshot of a conversation with her stating that herself. So whatever excuses she's given you about us being biased or about things being political motivated, that's a load of crap. She didn't want anybody to ask her about it. So why she didn't want to come to the candidate forum, she told us many times she was not coming. It didn't have anything to do with the church. It didn't have anything to do with her not knowing it was coming. She wasn't going to do it. Because she was only going to answer questions in a setting that she could control. Now, like I said, I kept my mouth shut about it. I didn't even say anything about us getting accused of being politically biased. Except the other day, many of you may remember, I made a post where I said my patience was done. So let me explain to you what happened there. Many of you may remember that during the planning and zoning meeting, I got up and I made a speech. It was a pretty anti-developer speech. Okay, Marsha was there, Paula was there, Carla was there, Alan was there, Deborah Fisher was there, several people were there. I was not rude to them. I was pleasant to them. I've never been rude to them. I've never been disrespectful to them. After that meeting, the next day, my wife and I went to the store. When we came back, my 9-year-old said, a man came and knocked on the door and was asking questions about where you were and what you were doing and what your phone number was. And then after talking to my neighbors, it turned out this guy evidently was parked just down the road, watched us drive off, and then came up here and knocked on the door to talk to my son when I wasn't here. Now, I don't think I have to tell you how that made me feel. When my son described to me what this guy looked like, it sounded a whole lot like one of the developers that was sitting in that meeting. All of the pictures that were taken that night, the ones that were shown on news and everything, only showed the backs of their heads. And I knew that Paula had been videoing that night. So I called her. And I asked her, could she possibly send me a picture, a still picture from her recording, showing me their face. And I explained to her why I wanted this. I told her this was a personal thing. This is what they did. They came to my house grilling my 9-year-old when they knew I wasn't there. And I wanted to find out who this was, because if they really wanted to talk to me, they were going to get their wish, because as soon as I found out who they were, we were going to talk face to face. Any of you that were parents, I think you could understand. Paula wouldn't do it. She told me she was afraid I had some political agenda. And yeah, that's when I lost patience. That's when I lost patience with Paula. Somebody who called my house and had my wife drive her to Greenville to pick up her niece and nephew who were in trouble, bring them here, spent 3 weeks getting them into a trailer, the same trailer that the family that was burned out is living in now. Working on it, getting it ready, going all times of day and night to fill it with furniture and towels and everything, and never asked for a damn thing. And then she turned around and kicked them out 3 weeks later because they weren't giving her money fast enough. And that's when my wife cut ties. It's not like Paula didn't know me. But no, there was a political agenda. This is the same family that you might have seen Carla make a post about. Carla, after all this is going on, found out about that family and made a post on the forum saying, hey, this is a long-time Grovetown family. They lost everything. You've got disabled people. They need some help. How about do it? And then she finds out that Paula and Marcia went to those people, gave them an altered version of what Carla posted, and told them that Carla was trying to use them for some sort of political stunt. These are the people you're supporting. And this is just recent. These are just a couple of examples of what's been going on. Now, Carla, I don't know why they would do that. She called me earlier tonight, really upset, crying, and it made me mad. And all of you are familiar enough with me by now to know that when I'm mad, I react. But I managed not. I wanted to wait. I wanted to see what she'd do. But see, this is what these people do. They scheme and they manipulate and they talk about people behind their back, and then they play victim. That's what you're supporting. Now, I'm not going to include Stephanie Reasoner Green in this. Y'all have seen me arguing with her. I come down hard on her sometimes because I expect better out of her sometimes. I don't think Stephanie's a bad person, and I do not see her having a hand in that crap that Paula and Marcia did. She's just not made that way. She's actually a nice person. I get along with her, even though we argue on the forum. But this here, this latest thing, this is ridiculous. I don't know why they wanted to do it to Carla, of all people. Because I'm telling you right now, if Carla wanted to, she could plaster this forum with screenshots of their crazy from her inbox for months, maybe a couple of years back. But she hasn't. Carla has bent over backwards to try to do everything to be accommodating, to be middle of the road, to not say anything, to not even interact with Amy when she joined the forum too much, because she didn't want it to seem like she was showing preference to the person that Marcia was having a court case with. And yet they turned around and they did that to her. This is what has been going on all this time. All this time. lying, obfuscating, and then playing the victim. And we've kept our mouth shut about it. We've kept our mouth shut about it because we wanted to not seem like we were trying to affect the outcome of this election. And I'm going to be honest with you, this isn't about the election. At this point, I don't give a shit about the election. To those of you that my language may have, been a problem, I'm sorry, but I'm mad. This isn't about an election. This is about common decency. Do you people have it? Marcia, Paula, do you have any? You can say what you want to about me. You can attack me on this forum. You can attack me anywhere you want. I'm a big boy. All of you know I can speak up for myself. But you did that to Carla? You did that to Carla without a moment's thought, for nothing other than to try to promote your agenda. And then you've got the nerve to turn around and play victim? No. No. This stops here. This is an introductory video. This is giving you the broad outlines of what's been going on. There will be more to follow. We're going to get into details about what's been happening with Marcia and her neighbor for the last 2.5 years. We're going to get into details about the fact that Marcia went to court and lost. And even though her husband took the citation for her, right now she's under order. If she breaks any of the stipulations, one of them goes to jail. Did you know that? You probably don't, because she had her lawyer hold off everything until the end of the day so everybody leave the court and they'd be the last ones and nobody know. She talks about how Amy would not compromise. No, Amy took her to court because Amy tried to compromise for over 2 years. The judge sat there with a stack of reports, an inch thick, and a stack of Facebook and other snapshots thicker than that, where they taunted her, bullied her, bragged about how they were going to do what they want. And I won't even get into the point where when the police officer came to the door the last time, Marcia laughed in his face and said, you know, when I get on the council, all this is just going to go away. So go ahead. Elect that if you want. I've been unbiased. And now I've got to be honest with all of you, whether you lose respect for me or not. I'm not unbiased anymore. Put that on the council if you want. But you need to be aware of what you're getting, because my patience is gone. Don't care what anybody thinks about me, but those two owe Carla an apology. At bare minimum. Now you have an idea. I'll leave it to you. You guys have a good night.